Let me pause for a second. Okay, so circles. Basically, we're looking at circles. Circles are going to be split into 3 different sections. The first section, we're going to be looking at degrees of things. Degrees of angles, degrees of arcs. We're looking at degrees. That's going to take about a week. The second section, we're going to be looking at segment lengths. So if you have different segments and angles and things like that are going through the circle or out and back in, there's different formulas to figure out how long those segments are. So the second section, we're focusing on segments. The third section then, we're going to be focusing on area of a circle and also area of a piece of the pie of the circle. We'll be looking at circumference of circle and also circumference, which is arc length of just part of the circle. Now, today, it's about as easy as they get. It really is. We're looking at central angles. So, as I've been doing here lately, the front part of this is notes, and then at some point I'll move into the ones you're responsible for. So, central angles. Pretty much just like they sound. Central sound a whole lot like center. So, a central angle, an angle that the vertex of the circle is the center of the circle. So central angle, central, center, same thing. Central, center, same type of idea. So what I'm going to do kind of on the right, do the best you can to draw yourself a circle. Doesn't have to be perfect, but draw yourself a circle. Not too bad. And kind of eyeball the center. And we're going to label that center. Mrs. Winston's doing walkthrough observations where she just kind of comes in and hangs out for a few minutes. At some point the next couple of weeks, most of the teachers are going to be having longer observations, but I haven't signed mine up yet, so I don't know what they should be here. If it'll be in this period. My center's a little off, but that's okay. And what I want you to do is create an angle that the vertex is the center and goes back out. We're done with triangles, but I don't have a triangle. It's an angle inside the center, or inside the triangle, or circle. So this is the angle. This is the angle. I'm going to put an X here. This is the arc that gets created from that angle. I'm also going to put an X there. And that's why I said this is about as easy as it gets. Because if the angle comes from the center, the center angle equals the arc. So whatever this is the same measurement. If this is 50, this is 50. If this is 20, this is 20. If this is 2, this is 2. So that's why this is about as easy as it gets. Now, this is only true on central angles. There's 3 more types of angles that get created. So those 3 have different formulas. Did everybody get all that written down? We good? Moving on. One and 2, super easy. Make it a little bigger. So what I'm looking at is I've got a question mark here. This question mark, that's an angle that gets attached to this arc. So I'm looking at this piece of the pie. Well, if the arc is 125, the angle is 125. So on that first one, that's it. They just match. Colors.
That's a little.
Number 2 is just the opposite. I gave you the angle. So this angle goes with this arc. So this is 124, this is 124. Now there's one more super crazy easy. And then there's some that are a little bit harder, but still pretty easy. Is everybody okay on 1 and 2? Number 3, again, pretty easy. I gave you some extra numbers in here, but I'm still focusing on this piece of the pie. So this tiny little piece of the pie, the 35 is the angle. They kind of tucked it out a little bit, but it's the angle. The arc then is 35 degrees. Now on the first 3, they just kind of put a question mark wherever they need it. But most of the time, you don't really have a question mark. They actually ask something. So number 4, they're asking, remember the little m means measurement? So they're asking for the measurement of angle SQT. So I'm looking at an angle. So I'm going to start at S, go into Q, out to T. So I'm going to put an X there because that's what I'm trying to find. And I'm looking at this piece of the pie. That piece of the pie. Well, I didn't give you either one of those numbers. I didn't give you the arc either. But I did give you the next door neighbor arc. Because this is 128. Good job. I know a semicircle equals 180 degrees. Half a circle. So since this is half of a circle I'm working with, I can take 180, subtract 128, and that gives me 52 degrees. So this is 52 degrees. My angle is 52 degrees. So I have 52 degrees. Yes. Are we okay on 3 and 4? So like I said, 4 took a little bit more work, but not too bad. Sliding on. Now, notice, we haven't really seen this yet. So the little m is still measurement. This stands for an arc. That stands for arc. And because this is 3 letters, this is actually referring to a major arc. We have a major arc, we have a minor arc. A major arc is called major because it is greater,
Like not 2 centimeters.
yeah, than 180 degrees. It's greater than 180. And that's why they give you 3 letters. Is that way you know you're actually going a long way around? So I is where I'm starting. Now if it was just IG, I'd go from here to here, which is a minor arc, but I'm going the long way around. So I'm going I through H, stopping at G. So I'm going from here all the way around through H, stopping at G. So that's why there's 3 letters. Because it's telling you have to go through another point to get to the last point. And it's known as a major arc. It's greater than 180. So basically, I'm looking at this piece of the pie, a giant piece of the pie. Well, this is 144, so I know this is 144. That box means what? 90. So this is 90. So what can I do to find all the way from I to G through H? Yeah, just add them together. And I get 234.
So if it's not over 180, then it's not right.
If it's not over 180, it's not a major arc, it's a minor arc. And I don't need to put 3 letters. because they don't need to say that you're going the long way around.
So is that what that little thing is over the way?
Yeah, this is talking about an arc. So if it has this little line here, it's talking about the outside of the circle, as opposed to the angle mark, which is telling you you're going into the center and back out. So number 6, you're going to the center and back out. W-Y-U. W-Y-U. So I'm looking at this angle here. So I need all of that. So I'm looking at this arc. Now they gave me a 54 here, but the 54 actually doesn't even help me. What really helps me is 105. Because, I'm going to change colors. Remember, if I've got a cross like this, whatever this angle is, what do I know about this one? What do I know about these two angles?
They're the same.
They're the same. Does anyone remember the vocab for that?
Parallel? Complementary?
Angles straight directly opposite each other are known as what type of angles?
Oh,
Isn't it, it's a
vertical.
Vertical angles.
why can I?
It's a little bit of a blast from the past. So this is 105, this is 105. Because of vertical angles, this is 105, which is what I'm looking for. So therefore, what's the angle of that? 105 degrees. 105. So yeah, there's going to be a little bit of blast from the past in here. I had to use a vertical angle. Like I said, the 54 was there, but it didn't even really help me. It was just kind of hanging out. Now I'm going to do 2 more, and then the rest you're going to finish. Are we okay? 5 and 6. So number 7. Now we get to some equation ones, which is why I gave you that little quizzy, since I'm going to take a look, see if there's some equations that I need to kind of review a little bit, because it's been a while since we really needed equations. So, notice, I have an expression here, and I have an expression here. So basically, I'm looking at this. And what do I know about the degrees of this? 180. So if I combine my 2 expressions, 12x plus 4, 5x plus 6, it should equal 180. Because it's a semicircle, it's half a circle. So sometimes we do things off a half a circle. Sometimes we do things off a half a circle. Well, I get 17x. I get 10. Now it's just the normal solving equations. Subtract 10 from both sides. 17x equals 170. Divide by 17. X equals 10. That's my answer. It does say solve for x. I could have said plug it back in to get the angle or the arc, but I didn't do that. I just said solve for x. So you don't have to plug it back in. So number 8. Well, I gave you an angle, an angle, an angle, an arc. Well, I know all of these are going to match, so let me do that. If that's 80, that's 80, 45, 45, 95, 95, 110, 110. All those are going to match. But I'm really focusing on this little guy. That little piece of the pie.
Wait, so would you just add all these up?
And then,
Minus by 360.
bingo.
Okay.
The entire circle is 360. So if I add all these things up, 80 plus 45 plus 95 plus 110, I actually get 330.
And then you just do the equals 30.
Subtract from 330, we get 30.
4x minus 10 equals 30.
Bingo. So that little piece of the pie is 30. So now I just do the little equation. Set it equal to 30. Add the 10. 4x equals 40. X equals 10. I didn't purposely make them the same, it just kind of worked out that way.
Wait a minute, didn't the same thing happen last time?
What do you mean the same thing happened last time?
You made them the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know, it just worked out that way. I have had a lot of duplicate answers here lately. Now, let me kind of scroll through. Does everybody have those written down?
Yep.
So, 9 and 10, super crazy easy. Find the question mark. Number 11, little bit trickier. You're finding angle CAD. So you're finding this angle in here. Number 12, it's got just 2 letters. So remember, if it has 2 letters, we're talking about a minor arc. So let's write that here. Number 12, it's a minor arc, which means it's an arc less than 180 degrees. So that tells me I'm going the short way. So F to G. As opposed to if they would have done F, E, G. I'm going the short way. So 2 letters is a minor arc. I'm going the short way around. Then 13, you're finding the angle. 14, you're finding the minor arc. 15 and 16, a little bit of equation you're going to have to solve. A little bit of an equation. So those last 8, those I want you to work on, and you got the rest of the period to work on that. When you get done, just kind of hold tight. Show it to me tomorrow. Just show it to me tomorrow.
So wait, a minor arc can't be more than 180?
Correct. A minor arc is
What
going
if
to
you
be.
had 2 letters that go almost all the way around the border? Would that make a major arc?
Well, to always show that it goes more than halfway, you're only going to put a 3rd letter in there,
Oh,
just to show that it was more than half. Question? Yeah, so 9 through 16 is what you have to finish. So like I said, triangles we're wrapped up with. If you're missing anything from triangles, please, 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 please get it turned in by next week. I want to shut the books on triangles. We're starting circles. Circles are going to take about 3, maybe into a 4th week. Oh, and let me stop this.